another everyday revelation is I was talking to my kids and they was talking about, man, when I get older, I'm gonna be in the car, I'm gonna be driving, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go there. And because I didn't want to drive somewhere, I was tired, didn't want to do it. And they said, when I get my license, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And I was like, man, so you want to be in the driver's seat? So then I thought about the driver's seat. And what I got with the driver's seat, man, I was like, full control, determined direction, speed, gas, passengers, liability, route. So when a young person is in the driver's seat, now when you're in the passenger seat, it's easy, right? You're a passenger. Your job is to play music, do the conversation, whatever, read the directions. Passenger seat is nothing. But driver's seat, that's another level of responsibility. So the driver's seat, if you think about what comes with the driver's seat, you determine who gets in and out of that car. You determine how fast they go. You determine the direction. You determine maintenance. You determine when you do pull off and stop. It's a whole lot of decisions that come being in that driver's seat. And so many people don't want that responsibility. They don't want to be in the driver's seat because once they get in the driver's seat, they get overwhelmed because of all the decisions. And, as adults, we so used to being in the driver's seat, right? We used to, we get in here, we know when we going to get gas. We've looked at the brakes, looked at the tires. We know how parking is going to be. It's so much stuff we take for granted because we're always sitting in the driver's seat. But when I think about putting my children in the driver's seat, I'm like, man, they're not ready. They're not ready. Because if I put them in the driver's seat, one of my son, like if I put him in the driver's seat right now, I can only imagine like how much stuff he has to learn. I could tell him all day long, but that might be overwhelming. He won't understand the driver's seat till he in the driver's seat. And that's a big responsibility. So when I think about just the driver's seat and being in control and being able to determine, like make a decision, like, you're not getting in my car. Making that judgment call, like who's getting in my car, making that judgment call, where do I pull over to get gas? Making that judgment call, where do I park this car? What do I leave on the seats? It's so much. You're literally in charge. So at a basic level, when you're in the driver's seat, you got the keys, like not losing the keys, putting insurance on the vehicle, being a defensive driver. So much, y'all, with a driver's seat. And I was like, man, the driver's seat is preaching by itself. Because we take for granted how powerful the driver's seat is and how many lessons come from the driver's seat. Like every day you're in the driver's seat, you learn another lesson. Every day you're in the driver's seat, you learn another lesson. You are. And when you're in the driver's seat, there's nobody you can blame but yourself for any problem. When you're in the driver's seat, there's nobody you can blame but you. Car running out of gas, that's your fault. Lost the keys, your fault. Somebody in the car doing drugs, your fault. Somebody with a gun, that's your fault. Going too fast, that's your fault. It's so much that you really can't blame. And I feel like this generation, a lot of young people now, they want to blame other people. It's never them. And when you're in a driver's seat, there's no other scapegoat. That's another powerful thing too. So you have to face the music when you're in the driver's seat. You the leader, you the captain, you the decision maker. And that's why it's so easy for somebody to get an Uber than be in a driver's seat. It's so much easier for somebody to give you a ride to be in a driver's seat. But we need more and more young people to step up and be in a driver's seat where the mentors can kind of help them and guide them so you can get all the revelations daily from sitting in that seat and carrying that responsibility. So don't hesitate, man. I know it's a lot, but, look forward to getting that driver's seat and take the lessons from being in the driver's seat. Because it's a lot of them. You're going to get some every day. And it's a level of responsibility that they can't compare because every action, every movement, everything has a consequence and a cost when you're in a driver's seat. So keep that in mind. Keep your ears open, your eyes on the road, hands on 10 and 2, and enjoy the ride.